Hi, my name is Donna Serdula, and I'm the author of the book, LinkedIn Makeover, Professional Secrets to a Powerful LinkedIn Profile. And I help professionals from all over the world develop strong, powerful, and impressive LinkedIn profiles so they can leverage LinkedIn more effectively, get found more easily, and find the opportunities that they desire. I'm here today to talk to you about finding a job in the internet, social media savvy millennium. So it's changed a lot over the years, the process of finding a job. You know, at one time, the big first step that you would do is you'd go out and buy stationery to print out your resume and put it out in a mailbox, and you'd send it out, U.S. Postal Service, to different companies and wait anxiously for a phone call. Well, things have changed, and really we have the internet to thank for these changes. The process for finding a job has really changed. It's really online now, and we need to be really aware of what's going on with social media. Let's go to the next slide. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you 5 steps to leverage social media in your job search. So the first thing I want you guys to do is Google yourself. This is huge. If you haven't done it already, I want you to go to your computer. I want you to open up Google, google.com, and in that little search box, I want you to type in your name and then hit search and see what kind of results come up. Now, you might say to yourself, well, wait, I Googled myself like a year ago, so I'm good. No, you're not good. I want you to make sure that you're doing this often. This is not just a once a year type of thing. This is something you got to do with some regularity because you never know what's going to pop up. So let's click to the next slide. And so you've put your name into the search engine, and what happens if you really see no results? Well, no results equals no reputation, and that's something you want to be concerned of. You don't want there to be nothing. At one time, years ago, we used to say, type your name into the search engine, and hopefully nothing will appear and you're good to go. Well, things have changed. More people are online. We have to have a good, strong presence, and a good, strong presence isn't nothing. All right, let's go to the next slide. So the best thing for you to do, like I said earlier, is I want you to Google yourselves, and I want you to do it with some regularity, just to make sure that other people aren't saying things about you, to make sure that someone with the same name as you isn't out there doing some bad things that might hurt your reputation. And so the best way to do this is to set up some Google alerts. And the way to set up a Google alert is to go to google.com, type in Google Alerts, and it'll take you to a page that looks a little bit like this, and put in your name, your industry, your desired company, and create some alerts. And these will let you know what's going on as the Googlebot indexes the web. Everything new will be sent to you via email, and it's a great way to really stay on top of your own brand as well as the companies that you're interested in pursuing. Let's go to the next slide. And number 2, all right, so number 1 was Google yourself. Number 2 is I want you to work on getting the right results. Remember what I said before, no results equals no reputation? Well, those results could be a detriment or they could be a positive. And so I want you to find the right results. And the first thing I want you to do is really create a name for yourself, a good, strong, good name. And I want you to make sure that you check out Facebook. Most people are on it. I think it's 750 million people in this world are on Facebook today. So chances are you might have a Facebook page. And make sure that what you're putting out there is something that you believe in, something that you wouldn't mind a potential employer seeing. So definitely go back and check your security settings. Make sure what's out there is something that you're proud to be broadcasting. The other thing is, when you do these Google searches, check to see, is there anything that you need to remove or possibly even bury? Really be careful. Just make sure that what is out there is good information. And lastly, if you haven't done this already, I want you to go to linkedin.com, and I want you to create a LinkedIn profile for yourself. LinkedIn is something we're going to concentrate on in the next few steps. And so why do I talk to you about LinkedIn? Well, LinkedIn is the world's largest professional network. And the operative word isn't largest, it's professional. We talked a little bit about Facebook earlier, and Facebook is great for the masses. It's great for consumers. It's great for people who want to have fun, who want to spread the word and talk about their vacation and their kids. LinkedIn is different. LinkedIn is totally professional. You're not going to see vacation pictures here. You're not going to see people talking about their kids. What they are going to be talking about is their industry, their career. They're going to talk about things that matter on a professional level. And with LinkedIn, what you do is you have a strong profile and you build a strong network. And it's this network that's going to help you find opportunities and really, achieve some good stuff from social media. Now, when we talk about LinkedIn, 80% of the companies out there today are using LinkedIn to find employees, to find talent. In fact, of those 80%, it's 95% of those 80% are using LinkedIn. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. And why is it? Well, LinkedIn is a database. It's a database of professionals for professionals. And do you like this? I'll be talking about this guy in a second. It's a database of professionals for professionals. And if you could query a database to find more about a potential employee, why wouldn't you? Of course you're going to do it. And that's why LinkedIn is so popular. So knowing that all of these recruiters and hiring managers and decision makers are tapping into the power of LinkedIn, doesn't it make sense to optimize? So let's move on to the next slide. Now, when I talk about optimization, I'm not talking about, bodybuilding. I'm talking about creating a strong presence, an impressive presence. So let's look at these two LinkedIn profiles, all right? Notice it's the same gal. This is before the makeover. This is after the makeover. And, the question you have to ask yourself is, let's just say this. One, it's ugly out there. We know that. And so you want to do your best to really stand out from the crowd. And there's a lot of people out there vying for the same positions. So you wouldn't go to a interview half dressed. So why is your LinkedIn profile half complete? And so we look at this one, and we look at this one, and you have to say to yourself, who would I hire? Who do I want to work with? Who do I want to bring on board? And clearly, it's this one right here. But why? What has she done differently that would make her stand out? So the very first thing is she's a professionally taken photograph. All right, she didn't stand against the wall and ask her husband or the wife to, take a picture. No, that doesn't look great. You want to stand out. This is your digital image. This is how you appear to the world. So invest and have a professionally taken photograph. You want to look great. The second thing is she's got this attention-getting headline. It's not just, I'm an HR employee. She calls herself an HR strategist, helping people create harmony in work and life. And then she goes on to talk about improving employee engagement and talking about herself as a lifestyle blogger and a speaker. This is interesting. This is going to make a person want to click through and read more about her. Let's move on to the next. And now we get to a complete experience. She doesn't list just the last 2 jobs that she's worked at. She actually has a full professional bio of herself on LinkedIn. And the other thing you might notice is it's keyword rich. There's tons of keywords in there. And this is a really strategic way of thinking because, as I said earlier, recruiters and hiring managers and executives are using LinkedIn to find people. But they don't know your name, do they? But they do know the skill sets that they're looking for. And so what she did, with my help, is we determined what her keywords were. What were these words that people were looking for? And we made sure that we really put them into her profile. So when a person is searching for that, she's going to be found. The other thing we have is she's at connections. She's got quite a few connections, 236, and I know she's actively working on getting more. We have her websites listed, and we've also customized her public profile so she can market it. She can put it on her business card, she can put it in her resume, she can put it in her cover letter. People are going to find her and connect, and then they're going to be listening to her message. Lastly, She's got a compelling, interesting summary, a summary that actually starts off with some questions. Are you interested in a better work-life balance? Does your organization want to better optimize their employees' engagement? She's coming right out with qualifying questions. And then she introduces herself. This isn't something that she copied and pasted from her resume, no. She sat down and she really gave it some thought. And by doing this, she's proving that she's creative. She has good communication skills. She's really showing it rather than telling people, and that's important. Let's move on to the next page. So what do we need to remember in terms of LinkedIn optimization? Well, 1, hire a professional photographer. It's really going to make a big difference. 2, don't copy and paste your resume. Your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. What your resume is your career history. Your LinkedIn profile is your career future. It's who you are, what you can do to help people, and what you want to do into the future. It's a totally different animal completely. And just as your resume is something that's almost it's task-based and it's a little boring to read, quite honestly, your LinkedIn profile shouldn't be. It really should showcase your personality, your energy, and it should give just enough information that the person reading it is interested and wants to pick up the phone and call you. Oh, and lastly, I already talked about the keywords, but this is really huge. Include your contact information. A lot of times people say to me, I'm not finding any opportunities on LinkedIn. And I say, well, did you include your contact information? Can a person pick up the phone and call you? A lot of times the answer is no. So you don't even know what's passing you by because the person can't get a hold of you. All right, so include your contact information. That's important. And number 4 is build your network and use your network. That's a big part of LinkedIn. It's having a strong professional network of people that you know and you trust. And then you want to use that network to find those opportunities. And so let's talk about your LinkedIn network. A lot of people talk about it, and truly this is the backbone of LinkedIn. This is the true power of LinkedIn. It's not like Twitter, it's not like Facebook. It's actually 3 degrees of connections. So let's move to the next, and there we go. So you know someone directly, and you're connected to them on LinkedIn. They're your first degree network. They're your first degree connection. Now, if they know someone that you don't know, that person would be your second degree. Now, if that other person knows someone that you don't know and your second degree doesn't know, that would be a third degree, all right? And so, first, second, and third, and you have access to all of these people. And let's say you were looking to find a person. Maybe you heard someone was hiring and you wanted to connect with them. Well, you could type their name into the search and you could see how you might be connected through what people connect you to that person. And so you're no longer making a cold call, but rather you're calling up the people that you know and asking for an introduction. Actually, let's go back 1. Because the other thing I want to talk to you about is, in addition to the first, second, and third, there's also groups. And those group members are also added to your profile, to your LinkedIn network. And so by joining groups, you're actually expanding that network. And by expanding your network, you really are bumping into more opportunities. And what you want to do is you want to think, who do I want to connect with on LinkedIn? Who are the people who are going to help me in my job search? And the answer might be recruiters. It might be hiring managers. It might be a particular industry that you're targeting. And so you want to find groups that reflect that type of an audience, join those groups, and by doing that, you're now in their network. And the big thing here is if a person who's a second or a third degree or someone in the group is searching for someone like you, the odds of you being found by sharing the same network goes right through the roof. So if you want to intersect with opportunities and get found, you need a strong network that you're constantly growing. Let's move on to the next page. And so a lot of times people say to me, well, Donna, this is great, but how do I grow my network? I don't really know all that many people. Well, that's not true. You know a lot more than you think you do. And so I want you to think in terms of your family and your friends. Talk to your old schoolmates, the people you went to school with. Talk to old colleagues. Go back. Reconnect with people. LinkedIn offers a wonderful opportunity to pick up the phone and call people. It's a great excuse to reconnect. There's employers, your past employer, maybe your current employer. Don't be afraid. connect with them. There's also lions. Do you think that might be a typo? It's not really. What a lion is, it stands for LinkedIn Open Networkers. And so there are people out there who are open to connecting, and they don't mind connecting with someone that they don't know and maybe not trust so much. And so if a person has Lion or LinkedIn Open Networker anywhere on their profile, you can feel very safe to connect with them. It's a great way to expand your network even further. And lastly, don't be afraid to connect with recruiters. Recruiters get LinkedIn, and even if you don't know them per se, it's still okay in most situations to connect with them. And I always say, if you're going to connect with someone who you don't know that well, or maybe it's been a number of years, include a personal note and say, hey, I'm trying to grow my network on LinkedIn. You and I have talked in the past, and I would love to include you. So don't be afraid to do that. Let's move on. And number 5 is stay positive. The internet is big, and there is a lot of people on it. And so in order for you to really be seen and to make a splash, you've got to splash around. And so I want you to stay positive. I want you to have fun, but I want you to be active. I want you to be on LinkedIn. Grow that network. Work on your profile. Get involved in those groups. Really have fun with it. And don't think of it as something that, what is it people are going to do for me? Think about it as what you're going to do for other people. How can you help? How can you provide value? How can you really go out there and make a difference? And when you do things like that, the karma comes back and opportunities prevail. And so that's a real big thing with LinkedIn is have fun and be active with it. And thank you so much for listening to my presentation. My name is Donna Serdula. My book is LinkedIn Makeover. You can find it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. You can also download it from my website. My website is linkedin-makeover.com. I've got a blog on there that I would love for you to check out. I've got tons of free articles, tons of stuff that you can download and really start leveraging LinkedIn more effectively. The other thing is I'd love for everyone who's watching to connect with me on LinkedIn. Don't worry that we haven't met. I'm going to consider this our introduction. So just go to linkedin.com and type in my name, Donna Serdula, and I look forward to seeing your invitation, and I hope you'll join my group on LinkedIn called Profile Makeover Optimization Secrets, where we look at profiles and really help people make those changes that are really going to make them sparkle and shine, so employers out there find you attractive and want to get you that job. So thank you so much. I appreciate your time.